Call the Board of Adjustment hearing to order. Call the roll. Can we each person just state your name? Go ahead.
Crystal Halverson here.
Jill Noreen here.
David Bartlett here. Tim Lenow here.
And Mark Deitch here. The next item on the agenda is for me to read the zoning board announcement of proceedings. Zoning Board of Adjustment appeals / appeals functions like a court and must follow state laws and local zoning ordinances. The zoning board cannot change or ignore any part of the zoning ordinance or state laws, but must apply the laws as written. The zoning board may only grant a variance, special exception, or administrative appeal if the applicant provides evidence showing that they meet all of the legal standards for that decision. The legal standards the zoning board will use to decide on each application have been provided to the applicant and will be described at this meeting by the zoning board or staff. Each hearing will be opened by reading the application or appeal. The zoning department report will be read, including evidence from the on-site inspection. The applicant will be sworn in and then present the reasons and evidence to support why they think they meet the legal standards for the variance or special exception. The board may ask questions of the zoning staff and applicant. Witnesses will be sworn in and allowed to give testimony related to why the legal standards are or are not met. Once the board has all the necessary facts, the chair will close the hearing and the board will deliberate and decide in front of the public whether the applicant has met the legal standards. The board will then proceed to the next hearing. Written decisions based on the evidence at the hearing and whether the zoning board finds that the applicant has met all legal standards. The evidence and deliberation of the board will be filed in the zoning office and mailed to the parties involved as soon as possible. Minutes of the board meeting and decisions are available in the zoning office. A decision of the board may be appealed by commencing an action in the Dunn County Circuit Court within 30 days after the decision is filed in the zoning office. An applicant that starts construction before the 30-day appeal period assumes the risk of having the board's decision overturned. Then we will go to the agenda here. Approval of the minutes. Did we already have see the minutes that was sent out? Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the October 17th meeting?
Dave Bartlett so moves.
Is there a second?
Jill Noreen second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the minutes from the October 17th meeting. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, then we come to the variance request. Ask the zoning department to present it to the board.
The public hearing notice for tonight's hearing of the Christine Annabis and Agent Kyle Colson variance request was published in the Tribune Press Reporter and Colfax Messenger on November 30th and December 7th, 2022. And I'll read the staff reports. The applicants are requesting an area variance seeking relief to Dunn County Ordinance 13.3.2.05 Class D highways, setback distance 42 feet town highways, to reduce the right-of-way setback from 42 feet to 23 feet, a relief of 19 feet. And the two images on the screen were taken from the road of the site. The lot is 0.69 acres. It was created in the year 2000, which predates the ordinance creation requiring 1 acre minimum lot sizes. The owner purchased this lot in August of 2022. Currently, it is vacant land with frontage on Lake Tainter. The owner wishes to construct a single-family slab-on-grade dwelling, 25 feet by 30 feet, and an attached garage, 25 feet by 12 feet, totaling 1,050 square feet. The parcel has 20% to 30% slopes over most of it, which that's depicted on the image on the right. Without an approved variance, a triangle-shaped buildable area on the east side of the parcel, approximately 535 square feet, is left after all setbacks are applied and avoiding building on top of fill over steep slopes. Items related to the request. The parcel is zoned residential 1. The town of Tainter approved a driveway with access off of 852nd Avenue on November 10th, 2022. Side yard setback is 10 feet. Since the rear of this parcel is Lake Tainter, there is a 75-foot setback from the ordinary high water mark. Both setbacks are proposed to be met. Setback reduction is not an option as the one adjoining parcel's accessory structure meets the required 42-foot setback. A flat spot along the lakefront is covered in floodplain and is within 75 feet of the ordinary high water mark, making it a non-buildable spot. No septic system permit has been submitted for this parcel. Here's some more photos and aerial of the property, indicating some stakes in the ground, showing where the rear backside of the structure would be. And then an approximate location of where the structure would be built at with a sketch on the GIS map. Standards for granting a variance as pertaining to this request. So unnecessary hardship is literal enforcement of the Dunn County zoning ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. And to this request, it is not self-imposed. It is caused topographically. There are no other flat buildable areas on the lot without a variance needed from a different code section. Unique property limitations. The unique physical characteristic of the property prevent compliance with the ordinance. Steep decline in elevation, floodplain located on lakeside of parcel, and only access approved by the town of Tainter is off of 852nd Avenue. No harm to public interest. Granting of this variance would not harm public interest. Building on top would keep the dwelling out of the floodplain and meet ordinary high watermark setback. Minimal amount of trees to be removed. It's a greater distance to Lake Tainter for water runoff purposes and natural scenic characteristic as seen from the lake. No public hazard from vision standpoint. Granting of the variance would still leave room for maintenance off of 852nd Avenue. And the town of Tainter approved the driveway permit off of 852nd Avenue. Staff analysis and conclusions. The request meets the 3 variance standards. The proposed dwelling and attached garage would meet all applicable setbacks other than the right-of-way setback of 852nd Avenue. This excludes new septic and new well setbacks. A single-family dwelling is a permitted principal use in the R1 zoning district. The proposed build area is not in floodplain or wetland areas, but is subject to shoreline standards that are proposed to be complied with. Building on top of the lot keeps the natural scenic beauty as seen from the lake and allows more time for water runoff before making its way to Lake Tainter. Staff recommendation. Based on all items presented in this staff report and in the submitted application, the variance request meets the applicable standards set forth in 13.4.0.04 E and H of the Dunn County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the variance request to 13.3.2.05 to reduce the required minimum right-of-way setback from 42 feet to 23 feet, which is a relief of 19 feet. And that concludes the staff report.
Does the board have any questions for the staff? Or does the board desire to hear from the applicant?
I think I'd like to hear from the applicant and would like to hear from Gerald Murdo that's on the town board, if that would be all right. With their opinion.
Nope, that's fine. Who wants to speak first? I'll need to swear you in. I guess you don't necessarily have to speak, but if
Yeah,
if you have a question, if there's apparently yeah, just push your on button.
The person on the right, the headline. Yep, thanks.
Okay, do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And you need to state your name and your address.
Christine Annabus, 4036 Nicholas Drive, Unit 3, Menominee, Wisconsin.
Okay. You have a question for,
well, I guess I was wondering if, when you bought this, if you knew it was, you know, actually a non-buildable lot. And that you would need a variance to do that.
I did not. I have my paperwork. It doesn't state that anywhere on the paperwork that it is a non-buildable lot.
Did you buy it through a realtor or just?
Yes, I did.
All right, I would think they'd have to tell you that, but. All right, well, that's the one, that's the only question I was thinking of. I was wondering about that.
any other questions?
I've got one question. Have you talked to anybody have you spoken to anybody in regards to the septic system in relationship? You know, if your variance is granted, not a whole lot of room there for a septic.
So.
system. Yeah, would you come up then?
Yes.
All right.
If you wouldn't mind going up to the podium, actually.
That's no problem.
All right.
Sorry.
Guess we'll do it the other way. Do you want to state your name and address, please?
Yes, sir. Kyle Colson. I live at 1020 21st Street Southeast, number 6, Menominee, Wisconsin.
And I need to swear you in. Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Go ahead, Tim.
Basically, the question is that due to the size constraints?
Yep.
Well, what type of, have you had any conversation regarding the type of septic system that you're gonna have, holding tank or drain field or what?
Yes, sir. I had Sid from H&H Plumbing out there, and I wish I had his plot map with me to show you. He approved me for I would be approved for a 1 single bedroom septic unit with enough room to put the well on there as well.
Okay.
We wouldn't need to have to put a holding tank. I believe he was out there 2 weeks ago or so.
So you would have to put in a holding tank?
No, sir. Just a single family conventional would work on the property, according to
Okay.
him.
All right, and there's enough room for enough space that you wouldn't have a slab on top of it?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. all
Yeah,
right,
he assured me we could make it fit up there.
Okay, all right. Well, that was a concern that I had, just wondering how that this was gonna work.
Yes, I
But that
understand.
would be the only question that I would have,
Okay.
all right?
Any other questions for either of the people?
No.
Did you wanna have the town board guy?
I would like to hear their opinion if he's willing. All right,
Okay, thank you.
The microphones are getting a lot of feedback. If we could turn them off when we're not talking, that might help a little. Thank you.
Need your name and address, please?
Gerald Murdo, T 5905 803rd Avenue, Menominee, Wisconsin.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Proceed.
I guess I'm just My concern is the setback from the road for maintenance purposes. If, is that, that's 22 feet is from the center line, right? Or 23 feet, whatever it is from the center line of the road?
The relief being asked for is from the right of way setback, not the center line.
Not the
of
center
the
line. So what would it be from the center line then?
It'd be 33 plus the,
Oh, plus this, okay, so they wouldn't,
be 50 some feet from the center line.
there isn't. Okay, I was just curious and I was wondering because when I look at that space up there, there isn't much room and I just hope they aren't coming back to ask for variance for the septic system into the right of way or something too. So,
I know I had concerns about the septic system also. I thought a holding tank might be a better option there.
I mean, if you've ever, I mean, it's right beside the road going down the Northwest Landing. If you ever gone down that, I mean, that's,
Steep.
it's steep right behind it. It's a shame that lot wasn't included in one next to it, but that was before we had preview on the town board. So
Any questions?
that's all I have then.
No, knowing that now would.
Your microphone.
Now that you know what the setback is from the right of way instead of from the center of the road, would you or would the town, do you think, have any concerns with that?
That was the biggest concern from the town was the amount of setback from the road. If we still have our right of way for maintaining the road, then
Okay, so you wouldn't really have a problem with that?
I
then?
guess not.
Okay, thank you.
The board have any other questions for anyone? Staff, anybody? If there is not, we will close the hearing and we will proceed. I guess start out, is there any discussion? If there is no discussion, is there a motion to approve the variance as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance as presented.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the variance as presented. Is there any discussion? No? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. The variance is approved. And we are adjourned.
One second.
Oh, wait a minute. We are adjourned yet?
From up
No.
there.
Oh, okay.
If I may. Can Ann take over?
Go ahead. Yep.
So we do not have a public hearing that needs to be heard in January. However, I know we've been trying to get together for a training session. So maybe we can talk about what works for everybody with that. We can close the hearing and you can just discuss it if you want to, but we'll need to make sure that we address this so I can schedule the hearing or non-hearing, but still schedule the meeting and properly notice it.
Well, I think we can,
Would everybody be available for the normal meeting date? Is that,
What's that date?
oh, is it
it'll be the 19th. or the
January?
something. 23rd.
I had this up.
Third Monday.
January 16th.
January 16th.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm available.
Okay.
The third, I was thinking it's next week, but I.
Are you gonna do it at the same time or are you gonna do it earlier in the day?
That is up to you.
Would it help staff?
It
During the day?
it would,
I'm okay.
because I gotta be
I-
here.
I've-
no matter
But I don't know about the people that are working.
It's up to.
I've suggested that it be during the day.
Am I the only working stiff around here? I'm more than happy to do it a little earlier. In fact, I have a family commitment that starts at 7 on that day, so I could get here as early as 2 p.m. and I could start as late as 7 or as late as 5. So is 2 work for everybody just to keep it within
I guess
our staff's working day?
I guess I don't care.
I'm fine, but I would, 2 o'clock sounds great, but we're talking January.
Yeah.
And does it have to be a meeting?
So, I think we have to notice it as, that there will be a quorum that you'll be gathering. However, there will be no hearing.
Uh-huh, got it.
Yeah. it won't be a
Thank
hearing.
you.
16.
So Mark, can you
At
just
2 o'clock.
officially say that?
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have a training session on January 16th. At 2 o'clock. Do we know which room? Will it be here?
It will likely be here, but I can let you know.
Okay, and the location will be announced. There won't be any business, there will be no business at that time, simply training.
Yep.
So, well, we need to notice it because we will have a board or the quorum here, so. Okay. Anything else? If there's nothing else, then I will adjourn the meeting.